Hi, everybody. My name is Audrey Robles, and I am a combined seven-star elite diamond coach.
Hey everyone, my name is Melitza Martinez and I am a two-star diamond coach. Today, Audrey and I will be giving you guys some tips on how to stand out and attract your niche market.
Now, when I started in this business, I was really successful because of my background. I graduated with a degree in marketing, and I was also the director of marketing for an entertainment agency. So I already had some skills that I knew was going to help me into this business, because at the end of the day, everything that we do is about delivering value and the way we're presenting ourselves and the message that we put out to a target audience. So Melitza and I wanted to level the playing fields between what we know as leaders in this business and what you guys know, so that you can get the best from us. So from now on, we want you to treat this like a business that pays you six figures, because that's what it's going to do if you take on this role as director of marketing for your brand, because that is what you are. So to get started, let's define what marketing is. Marketing is the science and art of exploring, creating, and delivering value to satisfy the needs of a target market at a profit. So when you think of what you do on a daily basis as a coach, that includes exploring, creating, and delivering value to satisfy the needs of the customers and the coaches that you are working with daily.
Now let's talk a little bit about effective marketing. Okay, consider the world from your perspective's point of view. How does what you sell improve their lives? How does it ease their burdens? How does it ease their pains? Remember, your value is not in what you do. Your value is in what you do for others. So don't just sit there and talk about your product features. Rather, talk about what those features can accomplish for them. It seems very simple, right? But it's not. For entrepreneurs who live and breathe their business, it can be tricky to view the world via a customer perspective. Majority of the entrepreneurs and experts like to vomit their solution without asking what exactly their customers think they want and what can solve their problems. Imagine going to a doctor's office, sitting there, walking in, telling your doctor that you're here because you need a checkup, and without the doctor checking you out or even putting a stethoscope in your ear, he tells you what's wrong with you. Would you really trust this doctor? I wouldn't. Well, that's exactly how it is for us marketers. We basically sit there and give everybody a wrong diagnosis because we talk so much that we don't tell them exactly what they want to hear, because we're so busy talking about us that we have not tapped into their why or identified their pain or seen their urgency or frustration of our customers. So what we need to start doing is talking to our customers and our prospects every day and continue asking why. And until we get to the root of the problem, make sure that we know what their reality is before we go ahead and diagnose it.
Exactly. Now, to give you the best, Melitza and I looked at the best, and the best in our fields is really Seth Godin. He's a marketing expert and New York Times best-selling author, and he has two quotes that I want you guys to really take into consideration today to help you in your marketing efforts. The first one is, choose your customers, choose your future. Because again, we are not for everybody. Think back to the definition of marketing. It's at a target market. It's not for everyone, but it's at a target market. The second quote is, if your audience isn't listening, it's not their fault. It's yours. So there's something in your message. There's something in you exploring your value, like Melitza was just talking about, that isn't going right between you and that customer base. Because what's going on here is that if you try to reach out to everybody, you're going to get lost in this sea of coaches. We're 400,000 coaches in the network now. And a lot of us are looking like this collage right here, where you don't even know who the people are. It just blurs into a bunch of sameness and nobody stands out. The person that I worked for before at the marketing agency, he came up with a phrase called evolve or perish. And that's what we have to do as coaches. We have to get to know our customers as best as possible, and then have our message stand out and resonate to them in a way that stands out from everybody else. You can't be looking to market just Shakeology and just the workout programs, because that's Beachbody's job. That's not our job.
All right, let's think about this. If I were to ask you guys right now to think about 7 characteristics of your target market, And what sets you apart from the 300, well, almost 400,000 coaches in the network? Would it come easy to you? Would you be able to pick out those 7 characteristics? If you guys are struggling to find your niche, I encourage you to try a new approach. Stop overthinking it and just write it. Write what you're passionate about. Stop looking at what others are doing. You are a unique creature of God. And therefore, your prospects are going to be different than mine. Break some rules. If your posting is stressing you out and you're obsessing too much on what to share, just focus more on content and less on branding. And soon your platform is going to speak for itself. After a while, giving yourself this kind of freedom, your niche is simply going to find you.
So where do you start? In order to start, you have to be self-aware. In this business, we attract who we are. So you start by looking at yourself, your journey, and your story. Again, it's not about the products. Marketing Beachbody products is Beachbody's job, not ours. It's our job to educate the followers that were just like you. So this target market for each coach is called their avatar. And that avatar, I want you to think about it as who you were before you started as a coach. So if you can go back and write a letter, write a diary to this one person, who is that person? What do you know about them? You know, in this business, transparency and vulnerability is scary, but that's what we have to do as coaches in order to connect back to the person that we used to be. So I want you guys to write down this quote because it's going to help you in marketing yourself. In your pain lies your purpose, and in your struggle lies your strength.
I love that quote. All right, let's talk about creating your avatar. What exactly we need to do to create your avatar. What are their demographics? Where do they live? What is their income level? What are their needs? Let's talk about their lifestyle. This talks of income level and how they go about spending their money. Do they go about buying Louboutins? You know, are they spending, or are they the kind of people that have no problem walking into Banana Republic and getting a pair of shoes? What are their interests? What do they do in their free time? Are they religious? If they are, where do they go to church? Where do they travel? And when they travel, do they travel more than once or twice a year? And where do they go? When it comes to purchasing, are they the primary purchaser in their household? Do they have to sit there and wait for hubby to give them an approval to purchase?
What are also the personal goals of your avatar? In marketing, we have something that we refer to as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Basically, every human being first has a need for shelter, for food. That's primary. If we don't have those, we don't care about fulfilling self-actualization or esteem. If you look at this pyramid, anything that goes higher from those basic needs. But once we have those fulfilled, our physiological needs, our safety needs, our social needs, we can go higher and need something else. So where is your avatar in this area? If I think back to college, I love to think about how when I was in the subway and Apple first released the iPod, I used to see everybody with the white headphones, and I wanted one of those. So that was my need for that social, the sense of belonging, love, family, or esteem, self-esteem, recognition, status. If you think about brands like Snickers, they appeal to your hunger because what do they tell you? You know, hungry. Why wait? So that's when you grab a Snickers. Well, now you grab Shakeology. But, you know, Snickers appeals to that basic psychological need for food. I mean, if you think of like Nikes, they make you run faster. So it goes into, you know, self-actualization, self-development. So if you look at any effective brand, they're targeting a specific need. So you have to know, where does your product, where do you fit in your avatar's psychological needs and their personal goals?
You mean, right, Nikes don't make you run faster? Okay, and let's talk about them from an emotional perspective. How do they respond emotionally to positive and negative events? What are their past behaviors? How do they spend their money? What do they want from you? Are they just looking for basic products at the lowest cost? Or are they just coming to you because what you have to offer what they want?
So what do you do with this? You're going to take this and you're going to tailor all of your content as if only your avatar exists. That's the only person you're speaking to. Remember, you're not for everybody, but you're for that one target market. And you're going to write as if it were your diary, because that person is going to understand exactly what you're talking about, because They are where you used to be.
They sure are. All right, let's talk about my avatar. My avatar, her name is Sophia. She is a mother. She's a wife. She's anywhere around the age of 29 to 40. She loves to party. She loves spending time with her family and planning stuff for her family. Her marriage is a priority. She looks forward to date nights and keeping her husband and her relationship happy and healthy. Her faith in God is extremely strong. She works a 9-to-5 job, but she's living her life. She's trying to create a life that she's going to live by design. And she comes from a broken home, but will never let that define her. All right, I want to share with you guys this post. This was a post that I put up on my social media, and it picked up a lot of attention because I talked basically about me and who I am and all this good stuff. How do I say this? Okay, I basically put out there to my audience that, that I'm human, that I grew up in a broken home, that I was working since the age of 14. I was pregnant at 16. Somewhere in between, tried to commit suicide, ended up in a psycho ward for 2 weeks. I dropped out of high school. At times, I'm very spiritually lost. Before I started Beachbody, I was financially broke, living well beyond my means. And I also have endometriosis and suffer from PCOS. The reason why I posted this was because it was important for everybody to know that I was human, that I also struggle, that I also go through all these dark places in my life, but that never stops me.
You're so brave for posting that, Melitza, and I know you helped so many people. Now, let's talk about my niche. My avatar is a mother of young children in a significant relationship. She's between the ages of 28 and 37. She's Hispanic, English dominant. She's college educated, but she's unfulfilled in her career. She had a lot of high hopes for her life, but they just never came into fruition. So she's nowhere near where she wanted to be. She's faithful. She hates to work out, but she does realize that she has some weight to lose. And for my post, I chose this one because my avatar had a life that looks really nice on the outside, but no one would guess from this family picture that this was one of the lowest parts in my marriage. I was unhappy. I felt so overweight, and my self-esteem was on the floor. My husband and I were probably barely talking because of the stress of a new baby. And we were over $12,000 in credit card debt, but you see a picture and you think that everything's perfect, but it's not. So when I think about writing to my avatar, it's somebody that, if you think back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs self-actualization. And I needed to talk to her in this moment that she can change that just because that's the situation that she's in doesn't mean that it has to stay like that forever. So I wanted to appeal to that for her, to know that she doesn't have to stay there, that things can be different, that she can be happy, that she can go after the life that she wants. And if you notice, Melitza and I have no mention of a fitness program or Shakeology in any of these posts, but they were probably some of our most engaging posts ever.
All right, so I guess what Audrey and I are basically trying to tell you guys is that no one can tell your story better than you. No one can say what this product has done for you better than you. Nobody can tell you guys about my journey or how I used to be a chronic anemic and how Shakeology has truly, truly helped me. And before Shakeology, how I was extremely lethargic and wanted to spend all Sundays in bed and not go out and not do anything when my husband wanted to go out and party because I was unhappy and I was not feeling well. So think of a message and how to use it and tell it with confidence.
Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to go out there and tell your life story to everyone that you meet that resembles your avatar. You're going to breadcrumb it. And in order to breadcrumb it, Melitza and I want to talk to you guys about what Life Force 8 is. Life Force 8 are 8 basic human needs that each of us, every single one of us, is hardwired to need, to want. So the first one is survival, enjoyment of life, life extension. The second one, enjoyment of food and beverages. That's why food pictures do so well on Instagram and social media. Freedom from fear, pain, and danger. Sexual companionship. Comfortable living conditions. To be superior, winning, keeping up with the Joneses. care and protection of loved ones, and social approval. These are things that we all need. So when you're going to tell your story or any part of your story or any kind of post, it's always quality over quantity. So if you have to post something and you don't want to just fill up your news feed because you haven't posted all morning, but we want you to think of one of these angles and what you could say about your life now that will appeal to your avatar. So if I want to look at, for example, sexual companionship, I told you guys that my avatar was in a significant relationship, and the person I used to be, my husband never wanted to work out with me ever. Like, he would just not even entertain the thought. So now if I want to, let's say I want to post something about the hammer and chisel preview on Beachbody On Demand, I can make the post about how great it is to be able to do a workout with my husband, how Beachbody has brought us closer together, being able to do something like that together instead of just sitting around watching TV and eating potato chips on the couch. But our quality of life is better. So that will appeal to people who have that need for sexual companionship, who have that need to do something with their spouse who doesn't pay attention to them. So that's one way that you can connect through Life Force 8. And we want you to really look at this slide and write these things down, because it's going to really help you break everything down in how you post.
All right, Audrey and I would love to thank you guys for your time, and we'd love to leave you guys with a quote from Seth Godin. It's powerful and game-changing, and Audrey will go ahead and read it to you guys. She says it better than I do.
The reason it seems that price is all your customers care about is that you haven't given them anything else to care about. So if you look at yourself, if you look at your team and the responses, the objections that they're getting from people, they're usually about price. But if you're able to connect with somebody through your story and have an effective way of connecting with your avatar and really speaking to them, and you show them that your life could be where they could be, they're not going to care about the price. They're going to care about having what you have and being where you are. So that price objection is going to go out the window if you're doing your job as the director of marketing for your brands efficiently. And one more thing that I want to say is that it's not all about this type of attraction marketing, because this is just to put your story out there. You have to make sure that you're also reaching out to people. So those people that like and comment and engage with any of your posts, those are the people that you have to proactively go out there and invite. You're not going to sit around and wait for the perfect people to come into your inbox because they saw one of your posts. You need to go out there and invite them. And you have an advantage, because if you're telling your story properly, that means that something about you clicked with them. So you're going to be able to get to their why and have them join your team or join a challenge group because your story spoke to them, it resonated with them, and got into something deeper than just losing 10 pounds and looking better for this holiday season. So like Melitza said, thank you so much for your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to inbox us.
Have a good one.